honest. I mean, hello everyone, and welcome to the Elite Racing Network. Tonight, live from New Hampshire, we are about a little over halfway through qualifying. It looks like Kwame Scott is right now on the pole, but there are still a lot of laps to be turned in. We have 125 laps tonight. Should be one pit stop unless we get some yellows, Then people are going to pit for tires. 4 sets of tires, 3 in the pits. There's the fuel window, 68 to 75 laps. Some people might be able to stretch it a little further, might not want to stretch it further. It all depends. Joining me tonight in the booth is Robert Hill, producer and commentator. Robert, what are you looking to see out of tonight? And expecting a clean race, a reckless race, or maybe a little bit in the middle?
Yeah, good evening, Chris, and good evening, everybody. Tonight we're here at New Hampshire, and this is always a racetrack that can produce some good racing, but can also produce a bit of hot tempers out there, as these corners can get pretty tight. And I've seen some guys overrun the corners so far here in practice and a little bit in qualifying as well. So it'll be interesting to see tonight, but I think we might be able to see maybe a new winner here. We had a new one last week with David Schildhouse, and we may see Kwame Scott up there as he's currently leading the way in qualifying here tonight.
Yeah, and here real quick before we get going, I want to say we have an in-race reporter tonight. It will be Vincent Isabella, will be our in-race reporter tonight. So this is the 2022 B Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series coming at you live from the Elite Racing Network. Mrs. Goodies has hooded towels and handmade items for babies, kids, you and your home, and you can look them up on Facebook today. TA Services for over 36 years. TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. Blue Egg Marketing, small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And of course, Brixi Cam. Brixi is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston, and they are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. wonderful sponsors here. Everybody at Elite Racing Network, Chad, of course, Dave. We can't forget about Dave. Everything he does for us here at the Elite Racing Network. Tonight's New Hampshire. We'll be coming from New Hampshire to Iowa to the Nashville Fairgrounds to Daytona, and then the playoffs start. So we are down to our final few races here before we get into the playoffs.
So, Chris, it looks like there's a little bit of a heat race here. I don't think it'll actually matter whatsoever when it comes to who makes the race. I think everyone's going to start. But while we're running this little heat race here with Ethan Stanley, Gerald Campbell, and Michael Hozak, why don't we go ahead and pull up our in-race reporter here, Vincent Isabella, and have a little chat with him about what we can expect here tonight.
Yes, sounds like a plan to me. All right, Vincent, you're our in-race reporter tonight. You're rolling off 16th there, probably not exactly where you wanted to be, but how are you looking to get through the start of this race and find your way to the front and get some track position?
Oh my, this is bad.
Yeah, you're not expecting too much out there tonight. Is that what we're gathering from you here?
If we get more than a 15-lap run, it would be like a Christmas miracle.
So, what are you struggling with out there? Front turn? You got not enough rear grip? What is it? Is it loose?
It shoves the nose. There's no front grip at all going into the corner, and then as soon as you pick up the throttle, it wants to spin out. Yeah, it's going to be a typical elite short track race here.
Well, I mean, you got Tyler Fode over there to lean on. He's pretty good at this type of stuff. I think he might be, talk you through it and have a shot to win this thing at the end. Do you anticipate 2 tires working at all tonight, or is it going to be 4 every time?
We'll see. It depends on how long of a run you get. I mean, and how long you got to the end. I could see maybe towards the end people gambling for track position, but you're going to want 4 every time. It's just burning everything up too quick. About a percentage a lap.
So, good tire fall off. That means we should see some good racing. Vince doesn't sound too happy with the car. Sounds like should be exciting. Hopefully there's not too many yellows. And Vince, make sure you're here and around all night to come back and talk to us. Don't be in one of these early cautions.
Gonna try to be there at the end too, but who knows?
We'll be sure to check in with you throughout this one, Vince. So good luck to you. We'll move you back down with your teammates there, and hopefully we get to talk to you at some point, and hopefully you're at the front.
Thanks, guys.
All right, good luck, Vince.
So there's our in-race reporter, Vince Isabella. We will keep a tab on him through the race here and see what happens to him as we're finishing up here this little heat race. That doesn't mean anything. Just some free practice laps for these guys.
I think Gerald might win this. And he does. Look at that. Gerald Campbell with the victory. And that'll do it here tonight.
Yeah, and here real quick, our starting lineup is going to be Kwame Scott, David Tooker, Tate Lytle, Scott Crump, R.C. Enerson, David Shieldhouse, who won the last time we were racing here at Atlanta, Chad Frankenfield, Latham Joyner, Tyler Fode, and Blaze Brinkley are the top 10.
Yeah, Jacob Adams and Matthew Weeks will start there in row number 6 with Thomas Sherman and Andrew Rucker right behind them. Connor Jones, a newcomer here tonight with our in-race reporter, Vincent Isabella, back there in 16th. Jay Kaner and Josh Adams there in 17th and 18th, with Zach Evans and Jeff Green rounding out the top 20.
And then we have Dustin Dewar, Wyatt Nadel, Johnny Thomas, Michael Hosack, Brandon Ultra, Josh Smith, Justin Vandermel, David Carpenter, and Michael Goodman rounding out the top 30.
And rounding out your field, we have Kynan Jones and Trey Holmes, Richard Hines, Harrison Talon, Casey Hatch, Trevor Elam. And then we also have Mark Rabilas, David Westergreen, our runner-up last week, Alexander Gray there with Garrison Hogan in 39th and 40th. And then we have the 3 that we just saw in that little heat race there. Gerald Campbell, Ethan Stanley, and Michael Klein rounding out our 43-car field here tonight at New Hampshire.
Should be an exciting race. I'm excited to see where this thing goes, especially after talking to a driver here. It sounds like these guys are going to be struggling with some rear grip.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to keep your tires under you for sure. I mean, if you're lacking rear grip, that could spell disaster early on, and hopefully we do get some long green flag runs here, but doesn't sound like some of these drivers are too optimistic about that.
Yeah, real quick here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you right now my pick to win this race. I am going to pick Jacob Adams. I was going to say Kwame Scott. It's easy to pick him with the track position, but that's who my pick is. Jake Adams. Who you got?
Yeah, I think Jacob Adams is a great pick for sure. He's been very strong so far this season. He's had a great first season here in a lead, as I mentioned. His pace car is off. Kwame Scott underway. We are green. My pick to win this evening, I think I'm going to have to go with the short track kid, Latham Joyner, in that 03 machine.
Yeah, he's been pretty good at all the short tracks. Like you said, we are green. Kwame gets away. The battle's for second on back. Scott Crump has no one beside him. Oh, Rucker gets loose off of 2.
That could have been
away
bad.
with it.
As we look here, Tate Lytle gets a jump there on David Tooker. He's going to move up into the second position. Tooker behind him in third. And Scott Crump there in fourth with R.C. Anderson up in the top 5 as well. Battles on behind them, though. Schildhouse and Frankenfield battling side by side for the 6th position.
Yeah, there are cars everywhere back in through this pack. We are 3 wide in multiple places. We are... Man, oh man, are you sure this wasn't just a race of green-white checkers?
Yeah, you would think so with the way some of these guys are racing early on. As we see here, yeah, 3 wide all throughout.
Oh, we got the 03 Michael Klein around. Nobody's going to hit him. He's not going to hit the wall. Wow.
Caution is out on that one. Like you mentioned, Chris, it is the 03 of Michael Klein. We'll take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened to bring out the first yellow here this evening. You see Michael Klein entering really low there. It looks like he grabs a bit of the apron.
Yeah, that was just an aggressive maneuver, too. That was 3, 4 wide, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, looks like he just loses it there. It's definitely caused by hitting that apron, entering the corner, upsets the car a fair bit. Nice job by Rasmus getting around that there, not hitting him, and everyone really just being able to continue on unscathed there.
So our first caution came out on lap number 2. Not ideal for the spinner, but maybe some of these guys will take a breath here and say, you know what? When we were moving on right there.
Yeah, definitely. These guys weren't hoping for an early yellow, as Vincent meant. I can't talk right now, Chris. As Vincent mentioned, they're hoping to get a couple long runs here, see what they can do, but an early run of about 3 laps definitely does not help too much whatsoever.
I mean, I think they were lucky to get 3 laps because we saw it on the very first lap with Rucker. You know, they almost had a pretty big accident.
So one thing I'm noticing, a couple guys have come down pit road. Wyatt Knadel, Richard Hines, David Carpenter, and Mark Rabilas are on pit road. Those are the only 4 that have entered pit road here. Interesting strategy early on. I don't know, maybe they've just come down for a little top up. I couldn't see them taking any tires yet, obviously. But,
yeah, and there was a lot of casual contact. So maybe you had some contact, and they were like, you know what, I'm just going to come get this looked at. Come see if I got any repairs. Maybe I hit the wall. Maybe I hit another car.
I do know, speaking with Wyatt Knadel before the race here tonight, he had mentioned that he was maybe going to sacrifice the first portion of this race to try to learn the track a little bit more. He had been struggling a bit in practice, and that could be what we're seeing here by him going to the rear of the field just to try to feel things out a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see how he rebounds from being 40th here on lap number 6. Obviously long race, but sometimes going to the back is not the right move.
Yeah, and that's a bad sign for us, because if somebody's willing to go back there and sit and they think it's going to pay off, it means they're expecting a lot of attrition.
Yeah, that definitely could be, or or they're really expecting people to wear out their tires and be able to save a little bit more than them and work their way up. But it'll be interesting, like I said, to see how Wyatt can rebound here.
Kwame Scott will take the bottom with Tate Lytle on the front row.
Yeah, two beautiful blue paint schemes there leading us here as the pace car makes that sharp left-hand turn down to pit road.
They enter the zone. Green is out. Big jump again for Kwame Scott.
David Tooker now going to look at the inside here of Tate Lytle. Looks like Tate's going to be able to get away, but Tooker slid up a little bit there in front of Crump.
Yeah, everybody comes off of turn 2. So far, so good. Down into turn 3. They are still racing just as hard. They are 3 wide in places here.
Crump in the wall. Looks like Crump may have ascended a little bit too much there. He'll fall back a little bit. This little battle here, 3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide there with Matthew Weeks, Jake Adams. Looks like
and
Jake might have...
Connor Jones as well. See on the backstretch, car's starting to fan out just a little bit back there.
Yeah, and as you can see, nobody's really running the bottom. That is not the lane you run here. You run that second, third lane.
Back up front, Kwame Scott does still lead by Tate Lytle and David Tooker. But the battle definitely is on here with Scott Crump chasing down RC Anderson.
Oh, we've got a wreck in the
We are
back
under
of
caution once again.
Westergreen.
David Westergreen. His rear end is all kinds of tore up there. Let's take a look and see what happened here on the Whiskey Cast replay to bring out caution number 2.
Oh, there was some contact. Oh,
David Westergreen, Wyatt Canadle right here.
I thought Wyatt was just hanging out, trying to figure things out. Isn't that what you told me, Robert?
I think he figured out that what he just did does not work. Is they do make contact. David does... Oh, who hits him there? Is that Alexander Gray?
Alex Gray, yep.
Oh, I think Westergreen might have been okay until that contact from Alexander Gray. It was a lot of rear end contact, so they may be able to get that fixed up without too much impact to his race, but that is definitely not what David Westergreen was hoping for early on here. And let's see if we could take a look at the look at the front end of Alexander Gray's machine there. He's got heavy damage there.
Alex was having a great week until this too.
Yeah,
I mean, Bengals finally won a game. I know he's a huge Bengals fan, and now he's gonna.
And Alex was doing all right last night as well in our truck race. You know, he was running top 20 most of the night. Unfortunately, he got into an incident on the last lap with me, but he had been running. He kind of got loose in the last corner, and we ended up getting together. It was unfortunate. We talked after the race. Everything's good there, but unfortunate start to the race here for Alex with a lot of front end damage there. When you can see through that hood into the engine bay, that is not a good sign.
Well, he did not pit, so.
Yeah, he stayed out. Wyatt Canadle has stayed out. I mean, I don't think he had too much damage there.
I mean, maybe it's because he's going to restart right behind Wyatt. They're going to line up together here. Right
David Westergreen getting his car fixed up there on pit road. He's coming back out. Westergreen's going to be hungry here. He's going to want to get back up there.
Now, he's still driving this car because it brings him good luck, right? This Taco Bell machine?
Yeah, I believe that's what he mentioned. You know, he finished runner-up, last week to David Schildhouse. It was the David and David show. And, you know, he's hoping for some good luck. Obviously, he hasn't started out too great here tonight, but it's so early, and that's rear-end damage. He can probably battle through that.
I think that Taco Bell car's turned into the Taco Hell car.
He got cheesy gordita crunched into the wall there, that's for sure. As the pace car does have his lights off, we are getting ready to go green once again here. It is Kwame Scott and Tate Lytle in the front row, a row of 2s with the 22 and the 2. And then right behind them, David Tooker, RC Anderson, Scott Crump, and David Schildhouse in row number 3. Wait here for the pace car to make that sharp left-hand turn and see what we can do here, Chris.
Yeah, hopefully we can run green for a little while as Kwame
Pace
Scott
car's
picks
off.
the bottom again, gets into the restart zone. Green is out. He goes.
What a great jump by Kwame there. Tate did not get going.
Yeah, Kwame's smart. Kwame's a smart driver. He is not going to restart in the same spot every time, so that way they won't be able to anticipate when he's going to go.
As you
So I
take a
think
look at the cars coming down here, definitely
he's got Tate
seeing.
guessing. Tate's got to guess and hope to guess right. And it's just so hard to guess right.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to guess right as you see this gaggle of cars here once again. Just everybody all over the place.
Yeah, I think our TA Services car of Jeff Green is in that pack of cars somewhere.
Jeff Green back here in 18th, just about on the tail of that pack.
Yeah, he's right in there.
Jay
Who's he racing
Kaner.
now?
Jay Kaner's right there. Dustin Dorr behind him. Jay Kaner was among the quickest in practice. He may have actually been the quickest. So Jay's got a good piece here tonight as well. Going to be one to watch.
Oh, Matthew Weeks gets sideways. Are they going to be okay? Looks like it.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks looks okay. Just behind him in this picture. Looks like we're about to go through wide.
Chad. Oh, the 9's wrecking behind him.
There goes Jay.
Jeff Green was. Oh, we've got cars running into each other
Mark
here.
Urbiles, Alex Gray, I think may have got a piece of that one too.
Are they wrecking further up off of 2 or?
I think we may be okay there. We'll take a look here. I did see the rear end of that collision here with Jay Kaner. Yeah, you could see him pop off the wall there in front of Jeff Green. Just see what happens here.
Oh man, our TA machine that we were just talking about. Yeah. Jeff just kind of cleaned him out there.
Yeah, Jeff sent it. He sent it, and yeah.
And the 64 gets into the back of the 98.
Yeah, looks like Rubilis got a good piece there. Rucker should be okay, but early troubles for Jay Kaner. The two guys we were just talking about, really, and Jay Kaner and Jeff Green, both of them involved in that incident.
Yeah, and what I was looking at, thinking the wreck was going to be like, I don't know, maybe 10 yards in front of him. Chad Frankenfield went down into 1, and I believe the 98 pretty well body slammed him getting down into 1.
Yeah, as you see right here on the replay, we'll back that up here real quick. Watch the 98 Blaze Brinkley getting into the corner here. He's just gonna push. It looks like push up into. Chad comes down actually a little bit. Looks like they're both kind of going for the same position there.
And Chad gave him the old William Byron here on the backstretch. If this plays forward, you'll see Chad go up and hit him. Gives him the old Willie B.
Chad not one to be too pleased with incidents such as that. So that'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. We did have another bunch of guys come down pit, or a batch of guys come down pit road. Not too many, but Trevor Elam White, Canado back down pit road. Dave Carpenter, West Green, Rucker, Kaner, Rasmussen, Rubilis. Guys getting damage fixed.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really had a whole lot to talk about here this race.
No, I mean, early on, our biggest mover so far, Garrison Hogan, up 17 spots. Started in the 40th position, currently P23. And biggest drop so far, Andrew Rucker down 27 positions to 41st. His lights are back off.
He did not beat the pace car there. I think he's going to have to give that up.
Yeah, let's back that up.
I think, man, what he has.
Yeah, he definitely did not beat the pace car. The pace car was past him before he left his box. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see here, Chris. What happens here?
I don't know.
I don't think there's any way that was a clean exit from pit road.
Yeah, he did not beat that pace car.
It'll be interesting to see what the ruling is by the race official here. Could give him a drive-through or an EOL on the next restart here, but pace car is about to make that sharp left-hand turn, and there he goes. Let's see if Kwame Scott can get one of his great restarts once again. And he does.
Kwame gets another great start. we got big junk. The 45. Oh, the 4. Oh, the 14's down there.
Yeah, I just saw the Hatchmobile, Brandon Ultra in there, Michael Klein, David Westergreen. That looked like a big one back there, Chris. We'll take a look. It's telling me about 12 cars wrecked. Garrison Hogan looks like he was in that one as well. Take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened here. We'll go from the Garrison Hogan machine. Right on the restart here, you see Hogan behind Brandon Ultra. Like, oh. Wow. Chris. Are you seeing what I'm seeing here?
I saw I believe the 4 car do some.
I want to go in car here with Garrison Hogan here. He was in the fence. As you see, it looks like Garrison tries to make a 3 wide on Brandon Ultra, or at least make a dive to the inside, and the room just was not there. He gets into the back of him, and they just start making heavy contact with the wall over Goodman and in the fence. He is in the fence, Chris.
Yeah, that is not good. That is not good for the safety of our.
We'll back that up and see what happens here with David Westergreen. Got a piece of this. Oh, that they were not driving that fast. We just had it in fast forward.
Yeah, we got the 4, the 45, the 44.
We're watching the Taco Bell machine here up top.
The 14, the 03.
Westergreen just nowhere to really go there.
Yep, he gets into it.
I just can't believe what we just saw with Garrison Hogan in the fence like that. Michael Klein, heavy damage.
Though. You know, Catch Fence kept that car in here.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, that Huckmobile not looking too bad. A little bit of left rear damage, but I think Casey Hatch will be okay to continue on.
Hey, weren't we given strict orders not even to talk about him this week?
Yes, actually we were, and he told me before the race not to. I don't know who's in the 14 machine. It might be Dave Huckleberry. Oops. We are on caution number 4 here on lap number 22, Chris.
Yeah, and I believe race control has told the 64 he's got to give a lap up.
Andrew Rucker here. As you mentioned last time on the restart, he did not beat the pace car off pit road and was able to take advantage of that. So Andrew Rucker rightfully giving up his lap.
Do we have that on replay just for, so we can show?
Yeah, we'll take a look and see if we can grab that here. You just got to scroll back and find that green flag.
I believe it's lap 17. Him coming off pit road on lap 17. You can see that the pace car gets to the cone, and he's not even close.
Right here on the Whiskey Cast replay, Andrew Rucker. We'll watch him leave pit road here. We'll go blimp cam, just so you can see the pace car. Pace car has already passed him by the time he leaves his box.
Yeah, he's actually behind the leaders there too. Yeah, not even close.
Yeah.
He tries to sneak through there, but he just couldn't do it.
I mean, kudos to Andrew for giving it a go. Lights are off on the pace car. Pace car about to make that sharp left-hand turn. Kwame Scott, Tate Lytle continue to lead here. But yeah, Andrew Rucker did give that lap back. Kudos to him for doing that as asked by race control. Pace car's off.
There goes Kwame again. Gets away again.
Kwame's gotten
big jump.
Incredible starts here tonight. We'll go a little bit further back here with the field.
Oh, we're wrecking again. That's Rucker. Is that Rucker?
Andrew Rucker, Michael Klein. We are under caution for the 5th time here. Take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened.
Yeah, it appears right here. The Westergreen machine was a little bit off pace. And Rucker checks up after hitting. He hits the 45 because the 45 checks up.
Gets into the back of Ultra, like you mentioned.
And
Harrison
then
Talon gets into the rear of Rucker. Jake Kaner grabs a huge piece of that. Michael Klein, Jesse Rasmus as well. That's a multi-car incident on the restart once again.
Yeah, and that's all people who've already had bad nights, and their nights just went from bad to worse.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Kaner, look at him coming back down pit road. He's got more damage. Front end of Harrison Talon's car damaged. Rucker with damage. Michael Klein, that guy cannot catch a break. It's not been a good start for these guys here in the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series here tonight, Chris. This is caution number 5. We're on a pace of 1 caution every 5 laps currently. That is not a good pace.
Yeah. I mean, what's our driver doing? Don't we have a driver we can be talking to?
Let's take a look at Vincent Isabella, see if we can bring him up here and have a chat with him. We'll just move him to the waiting room quickly just to make sure he's not saying anything bad about us. And we'll bring him in.
All right, Vincent. 26 laps in, you have dodged everything so far. What is your take on what's going on right now?
My take is the jabronis in the back need to just quit running the way they are. I mean, common sense will get this race going green. No reason we should be going 3 wide, 4 wide on lap 1, lap 13. It's just,
Hey, are you watching the broadcast? Because we talked about that at the drop when they went 3 and 4 wide. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got sent 3 wide for 12th or 15th or whatever I'm in. It's like, come on, little common sense. And then guess what? That guy got wrecked because he couldn't make the corner.
There's been a lot of wrecks out here. There's been a lot of almost. I mean, you're lucky we've even gotten any green flag racing, really, Vincent. Because if you could see what we could see, it's been a lot of almost wrecks too.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect up here between the 2 Adams boys, Dewar, Jeff. We're all just running each other nice and clean here, but those guys in the back need to figure it out. It's going to make for a long night.
Now, listen, I don't want to start anything, but you're talking about a lot of respect and Jeff Green. I just want to let you know, Jeff Green just sent one of those boys a little bit ago. Hit one of those cautions was Jeff just full sending that 9 car. So you might want to watch that left rear quarter panel there a little bit with Jeff behind you.
It's a former teammate. Me and Jeff have a lot of respect. Met him in real life a few times, so.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to get something going here, all right?
You want something going. I owe that 1 car.
And he's starting right ahead of you here.
So are we going to get another caution here pretty quick? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not. I want to go green and pass him clean.
Well, all right, Vince, you guys are doubling up, so we will let you go, and hopefully you guys can get some green racing in here and get us some good racing to talk about.
Yep. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. That was Vincent Isabella, our in-race reporter. He's looking for that 1 car a little bit later on.
Yeah, not now though, because he wants to run green. He said so.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to.
By the way, he's gone. Garrison is gone.
Michael Goodman, I believe, is done as well.
No, he unloaded again. He left and then came back.
Okay. Credit to Goody trying to salvage some points here. That's a strategy I would do as well.
Maybe he saw what was fixing to happen this race with there being attrition and said, maybe I can get my stuff fixed.
Yeah, I mean, Goody can still win. Kwame Scott, another great restart there. Looks like David Tooker might be able to take advantage of Tate on this one as well.
Yeah, gets away again.
Tate's getting the good entries into these corners.
Oh, we're about 5 or 6 wide. Gerald Campbell's on the apron here down at the turn 1. I don't know what was going on there. We're 3 wide mid-pack here with Chad Frankenfield. So these boys are still sending it.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't realize that we've had a bunch of cautions. Ooh, Chad almost comes up right in front of Matthew.
He does, and Matthew gives him a shot. Matthew shot him down in there.
Yeah, Matthew.
Vincent's in the middle of 3 wide here, behind it.
Josh Adams sending a 3 wide on Vincent as well.
Jeff Green comes right in there too. Oh, we are under caution again. Not sure where it is here.
Looks like Michael Klein might have been in this one, potentially with Harrison Talon. We'll take a look here. Showing me Michael Klein went off track, so take a look here. Michael Klein, this 03 car.
Oh man, he hit a glitch. Oh, he hit the New Hampshire glitch.
Oh my gosh. Chris, I've never seen anything like that. Oh my gosh. Michael Klein just... The wall did not like him.
Yeah, see, that's a problem that we've had at New Hampshire for a long time.
I just want to point out here, on pit road, Tate Lytle, R.C. Anderson, Latham Joyner, Connor Jones, Matthew Weeks, and a handful of other guys towards the rear of the field.
Yeah, they're thinking maybe going to the end here, but that is not Michael Klein's fault right there, what we saw. There is a problem on the sim at New Hampshire for some reason, and I think the only thing that's going to fix it is them going up there and scanning it again, but that is not the first time I've seen that happen.
I'm going to say Callie's on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's something faulty with the racetrack. If you run down there close to the wall, it just shoots you around like that. I've seen it do way worse. I've seen it just stop cars and them flying up in the air.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Jay Kaner taking the wave around here at New Hampshire, as you just saw him go by Kwame Scott. Caution number 6 on the racetrack. Chris, why don't you touch base on some of our presenting partners here?
Yeah, we are. Let me bring up my reads here.
Got you off guard there.
Yeah, this is the 2022 Be Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series here, live from New Hampshire. Just one of the last few races here before we get into the playoffs. Everybody at Mrs. Goodies, everybody at the Elite Racing Network, Chad, everybody from Chad, Dave on down. Mrs. Goodies has hooded towels, handmade items for babies, kids, you and your home, and you can look them up on Facebook today. Everybody at TA Services, for over 36 years, TA Services has been a domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. And Blue Egg Marketing, they are your marketing department. And Brixi Cam. Brixi Cam is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston, and they are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience.
There we go. We definitely cannot do it without them. And while we are waiting to go green once again, let's just take a quick run through our top 10. Currently, Kwame Scott leads over David Tooker, Scott Crump, David Schildhouse, and Blaze Brinkley, the top 5 there, with Tyler Fody, Chad Frankenfield, Jacob Adams, Josh Adams, and our in-race reporter, Vincent Isabella, rounding out the top 10. So a couple new faces up there with some guys going down pit road here. But we are getting ready once again for the pace car to make that sharp left-hand turn, and we can get going green once again here at New Hampshire for restart number 7.
Yeah, restart number 7. Too many cautions tonight, but it is a packed crowd.
Absolutely. The Elite Racing League definitely making their profit here on the gate tonight at New Hampshire, as the pace car is making his left-hand turn here. Kwame Scott will get us underway once again.
Yep, he gets away. Big jump once again. I'm not sure about pitting right there, as from what I was told, we are not in any kind of fuel window yet, so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to monitor guys like Tate Lytle all the way back here in traffic, trying to work his way up through.
I don't know if you want to be in traffic.
I mean, the way the race has gone so far,
we got
definitely
contact
not.
down here, the 32 and the 73. Oh, they're going to get together again in the 32s
Dustin around. Zach Evans, he no fine.
The 84.
Why can... Oh my... What is this? This is like a popsicle stick of cars. Let's take.
They made contact going into the corner.
Oh man.
The 73 sends it in on the 32, gets into him,
Let's take a look from Kynan Jones here.
and then they get together, and the 6 gets some damage. The 42, the
There's
71.
the initial contact here, Chris. Kynan Jones on the bottom. Dustin Dewar in the middle there. Kynan Jones starting to come back up. Dustin Dewar coming down a little bit. They're going to make contact here, which is going to grab that rear end of Dewar, send him around. Dustin Dewar goes for a ride up into Zach Evans, Michael Hossack, Dave Carpenter, Wyatt Canadal, all getting a piece. I don't actually know if Wyatt Canadal will have too much damage. Kind of looks like a little bit of netcode randomly
I'm going
there.
to tell you this, too. Like, that happened right in front of Tate, and RC was up on the top when it happened. RC had to make a maneuver to miss that, and he might have touched Latham Joyner. Maybe
Let's
not.
take a look on board RC Enerson here. That's Dustin Dewar. We want RC. You will see this wreck starting to develop just 2 or 3 rows ahead of him here. You'll see Dustin Dewar right in the middle. There goes Dewar getting kicked up the track. Michael Hossack on the right. Yeah, here we go. RC having to snap it back. Tate, he would have had to make a maneuver as well.
He might have touched Latham. I don't know if RC and Latham got together or not.
Yeah, let's take another gander here. Bring out the Brixi Cam chopper. Take a look, RC Anderson here behind Michael Hossack on the outside of Trevor Elam. No, they just missed each other.
Ooh, it looked like there might have been some netcode the way the 03 jumped.
Quite potentially. He kind of slapped back to the inside.
Yeah, I think it was all netcode. I thought they got together, but they didn't. And then it looks like the sim might have tried to say, hey, y'all almost wrecked.
I'm going to say Dave Carpenter maybe done. Actually, they're trying to fix his car. It looked like the suspension may have been broken there. Dustin Dewar, heavy damage. Zach Evans, he definitely not fine at this point. Wyatt Canadal, his front end's a little messed up there. Pearson Talon coming back out, but definitely gotta question those guys that came back down pit road there, or came down pit road on the last caution. I don't know if that was the right call, as you mentioned, Chris. They're getting too close to these incidents for comfort.
Yeah, I mean, it could work out. You get a lot of cautions, and you don't have to pit. Maybe they're banking on getting. They would probably need 5 or 6 more cautions to make it on fuel. And at the rate we're going, maybe we will.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. See what's going to happen here with these guys. Pace car has his lights off. They are starting to double back up here. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see if these guys can make it through the rear of the field without getting caught up in incidents. You can see something as simple as a little contact in the corner could spell the end of the knife for some of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, with the way we're getting cautions right now, at some point we're going to be out of cars to crash, right? I think. I hope.
I don't know. I mean, I think we're down about 10 cars already. As the pace car has come down pit road here. Kwame gets another
Great jump for Kwame.
Another good start there.
Everybody's just getting to practice their John Force right now. Gerald Campbell's going to send it in there 3 wide once again, just like last restart. RC trying to squeeze around the top back there. Oh, whoever's in front of RC got into the wall. Little log jam.
Yeah, definitely a logjam back here. Ooh, RC gets into the side of Richard Hines, it looks like there.
Yeah, it's
Ooh, contact Johnny Thomas.
Really tough to make passes out here.
Matthew Weeks and Trey Holmes here following Connor Jones. Just ahead of Justin Vandermeer and another car that won't be mentioned. These guys trying everything Look here, though, Chris. Scott Crump is at the rear bumper of Kwame Scott.
Yeah, but it's hard to pass out here, as we have seen.
It's definitely going to be hard to pass, but that bumper could come into play at some point as well. Nice battle here. Jacob Adams and Ethan Stanley doing a nice
RC's
job here.
trying to make his way through here, too. RC's
Yeah.
being way more aggressive than Tate Lytle.
RC, Jeff Green, Trevor Elam.
Oh, is that some contact there just about?
Just about. And RC and Jeff Green and Trevor Elam do have a little bit of history going back to last season at Coda. They got together quite a few times. RC gonna send it there on Jeff Green.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of new tires, you know, over old tires.
Nearly gets into the back bumper of Trevor Elam. Definitely gonna be interesting to monitor the progress.
Oh,
Looks
Jeff
like Jeff
Green.
got the wall.
Tate Lytle got some damage there. I don't know how bad it is. Everybody's going to continue on.
Jeff gonna lose a lot of spots there. He's getting passed now by Mark Robilas for the 28th position. Definitely some big impact there with the outside wall. Back up front though, Kwame Scott continues to lead over Scott Crump and David Tooker, with Blaze Brinkley and David Schildhouse rounding out the top 5 here early on. But these guys are battling hard, trying to make their way through. Tate's kind of stuck here behind Gerald Campbell and Latham Joyner. He has not gained too many spots since that last restart whatsoever.
Yeah, I think Tate might be sitting there kind of riding. He knows, he can see what's going on here. RC is being really aggressive trying to get through these guys. Tate's
Yeah,
more
RC
of,
here, Jacob Adams.
Yeah, Tate's more of, I'm going to take my time here. I don't want to wreck my car coming through this traffic.
Biden Jones side by side with Trey Holmes back here for the 21st position. Nice little battle there. Trey Holmes will get the spot. Side by side, Jacob Adams, Latham Joyner here for position number 13. Nearly into the rear of Thomas Sherman and nearly into the side of Jacob Adams there.
Yeah,
Okay, Lytle
well,
now will go to the inside. Battle just continuing around Jacob Adams here.
Yeah, he's going the wrong way for him to be my pick.
Yeah, you also have to remember there is some tires here, even though some of these 3 wide here, Gerald Campbell, Ethan Stanley, Connor Jones. That's getting a little sketchy. Matthew Weeks thinks better of joining that party.
This whole race has been sketchy. I don't know what you're talking about. Just getting sketchy.
Just getting a little sketchy. Just a wee bit. Marker Bylis, Jay Kaner here battling back in 27th. Chad and Trevor here swapping spots, 8th and 9th. A little bit of side by side. RC Anderson suddenly in the top 10.
Yeah, he's been kind of taking it to these boys here, coming through whether you like it or not.
Nearly
Chad
makes
tried to turn
contact with
down across
Chad.
him there. Let me tell you.
You know, we just mentioned Tate Lytle had not gained too much. He's now up 4 spots since I said that just about a lap ago, as he's just on the rear bumper of our in-race supporter Vincent Isabella, battling for the 12th position here.
Yeah, these tires are paying off, but I mean, it's a long way to go still for them to get back to where they were running.
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know if it will benefit them at all, because I think these tires are going to kind of even out once they get back to where they were running.
Yeah, and I think next caution, everybody will be on pit road.
Absolutely. Even the guys that pit earlier will come back down, because I mean, we're approaching the halfway point of this race, so you'll be thinking tires, and you'll be thinking last stop potentially. Watch Josh Adams look here to the inside of David Schildhouse. That is for the 5th position here. Josh Adams doing a nice
everybody's
job.
getting strung out too right now. The fast guys have passed a lot of the guys they're faster than. It's
Side by side for the lead.
Scott Crump trying to make it work on the bottom.
It just will not work. Kwame Scott doing a heck of a job working those lines and getting those runs to stay out in front of Scott Crump. Scott Crump
Tucker's
almost
right
gets to
there,
the bumper. David Tucker right on the back bumper of those two, like you mentioned. 3-car battle.
It's so hard to make a pass on the bottom, though. It's
Crump back to the inside. He's going to grab a little bit of the apron there.
so very difficult to get the drive up off the corner.
As you watch, looks like David Tucker might be able to grab a little bit of that draft from Kwame and run the high side if he wanted to. Doesn't look like he will.
Kwame's really high. Really, really high there.
Yeah, Kwame gets way out of the groove. Scott Crump will get the advantage here. But David Tucker coming to the rear bumper of Kwame Scott will give him that push into the corner, help him get by Crump. But Crump just continuing to be strong up front. And looks like Scott Crump will get the lead here.
Yeah, new leader. Tucker's going to now try to go by as well.
Do you think at this point Kwame has run the Goody off of his tires?
Maybe. I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of green flag laps, but I mean, that's got to be what he's done.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe he just was making qualifying laps because we kept having cautions, and now we've got a long run. And
it's quite possible. Scott Crump now has a little bit of a lead over David Tucker.
the battle right now,
3/10.
Tyler Fody, RC, Tate. I mean, these guys are all over each other.
Yeah, you can see, you could throw a blanket all over these guys here. Basically from Trevor Elam all the way back to, it looks like Connor Jones, our newcomer. These guys are
And
a
they
nice,
are
tight
catching
little battle.
Fieldhouse in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. They are not too far from David Shieldhouse whatsoever. As you see RC Anderson looking to the inside of Tyler Fody. He'll make that pass.
Slide up. Oh, didn't get all the way up in front of him. Fody might try to power back on the outside. He's not going to be able to. I'm getting word that the 81 is blowed up on track somewhere.
He has blown up. He has Alt F forward, or actually he was able to hit the reset button to get it back to pit road. Alexander Gray's night has likely come to an end here. We will stay under green though, which is a bit of a relief. Scott Crump blinking there. It's like Harrison Talon had an off-track moment. We'll take a quick look at that on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened to Harrison. Ooh,
Oh, he's
Harrison
trying to get
grabbed
the
the wall.
Same
Through
thing
the
Jeff
grass,
Green did.
inside wall, outside wall.
Only I don't think Jeff went down and hit the inside wall.
Lucky for Harrison, he was able to grab that that access route on the bottom and get going again. But David Tucker now, he's charging at Scott Crump.
So I got a question here for you.
Yeah.
We've went pretty far here now. We're 60 laps in. Kwame's used a good off of his, but do you pit? Are you thinking about pitting under green?
No.
Based on what I'm looking at, these guys can only run about 35 more if they haven't pitted yet this race.
I think I'm looking to stretch it out, especially considering we did have so many early on yellows. I think it's really hard to bet against there being another one here. Kwame continuing to fall back to fourth now into the clutches of Josh Adams, but I think it'd be really hard to bet on there not being another yellow here, Chris.
Yeah, I don't. It would depend for me on where I was running and how I was doing. I think if I'm Kwame, I would be giving some serious consideration to pitting right here.
Yeah, I think if Kwame continues to fall, that's definitely a possibility. Back to fifth at this point. Maybe if he approaches the back of the top 10 here, 9th, 10th, or even falls out of the top 10, maybe hop down. But
he's not far from falling back there because they are coming up right behind him.
yeah, RC.
Oh, Latham Joyner just got shoved down into the corner by Trevor. That looked like it might.
He's
have been.
coming back. He's in his door.
Well, that third car, the Latham got sent by Trevor. I think
I can
something
hear.
happened
Oh,
between.
contact. Trevor Elam gets hit. These two are not happy, Chris.
Yeah, but Trevor's not going to get back to him, so
Not yet.
not right now anyway. Like he gets another set of tires maybe.
That's for sure. As you do see the leaders going through lap traffic there. Scott Crump continuing to blink there. David Tooker and Scott Crump, they just went by David Westergreen. Westergreen in the 33rd spot. Unfortunate luck for him tonight. Just caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. So unfortunate for D West after a strong run last week, but he'll bounce back as the battle continues to be for the lead here. Scott Crump and David Tooker.
Yeah, I am very interested to see what happens here. I'm really hoping we get to see some green flag stops.
Absolutely. Actually,
You know,
RC right here catching Kwame at this point, so Kwame's just going to continue to fall back, and sorry for cutting you off there.
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, it's very hard to pit under green anywhere, and we don't get to do enough of it. We get too many cautions on a regular basis. But if we can get some green flag stops here, that would be pretty exciting and something we don't see all the time. I love green flag stops. I think it takes it's a skill that some people have, being able to come to pit road pretty hard and make time, and some people don't. It's something I really enjoy doing in a race, is pitting under green. So it kind of separates the haves from the have-nots when you have to pit under green.
Yeah, you're definitely right on that. I mean, if you can get a solid green flag pit stop, you're going to have a great advantage, especially under green. I mean, pitting under yellow is one thing on its own, just making sure you hit your marks and not running too far in your box. Battle on side by side here. David Tooker on the outside, Scott Crump on the inside.
And the
Crump with
battle behind him too, Josh Adams is. I might have backed the wrong Adams horse.
Yeah, Kwame Scott on pit road. Oh no, he was not on pit road. It did say he entered pit road.
He's found some grip, something that works for him.
Dusty has crashed. Dustin Dewar has crashed. Cautions out.
Man, just when I was talking about getting some green flag stops.
Dustin Dewar here behind Conan Jones.
Oh, the 73 just comes way down the track there.
Dustin comes up a little bit, but Conan came down about 4 lanes there.
But yeah, that's Kwame Scott. Like you mentioned, he was entering pit road. That's just a lane he's been running the last few laps. He has been really.
Yeah, I want to take a look at that here. This triggers a message on our broadcast system letting us know that Kwame Scott had entered pit lane. He's 2 lanes up at this point here, so he must be cutting down really far to try to make this exit, and that could be because of his tires. Yeah, you look at Kwame Scott, he's sending it down there.
Now, see, I am one of the people that when I come here, I don't know about you, Robert, but when I come here and I run laps and I race, in my race, I'm going to find a rhythm. I'm going to run on that apron as much as I can. Like, I try to run down there because I feel like that's the best way to keep the right front on the cars. Everybody's coming down pit road right now.
Absolutely. As you can see the field working their way down. We'll take a look at the pit exit cam here and see who's going to be the first one to make it off pit road. Looks like nobody on the lead lap has stayed out whatsoever. Kwame nails his pit box there.
It looks like somebody missed theirs here. He'll
Ethan Stanley doing a drive-through.
Scott Crump. David Tooker, Blaze, the 22. Big loser there was Josh Adams.
Yeah, Josh Adams loses a fair bit. Ethan Stanley, let's keep an eye on him. Looks like he will come back down pit road here. He definitely drove through his stall.
Yeah, Josh came in 4th, and he's going to leave in, I believe, 6th.
Currently scored in the 7th position. Ethan Stanley comes down pit road. Scott Crump and David Tooker will take over the lead once again. Yeah, P6 for Josh Adams there. I mean, you do have to remember the guys like R.C. Anderson, Tate Lytle would have had to take a little bit less fuel than these guys as they had not pit, but a 4-tire change is still going to take the same amount of time, so... I think Josh just might have missed the mark at one point. You can see Harrison Talon right there. His car not looking too fancy as he's going through the grass. Harry just having a good time at this point. It's like Dave Carpenter will get the wave around on this caution. Chris, he'll come back to the lead lap, giving us what appears to be 32 cars on the lead lap. White Canadal, Dustin Dewar, those last two cars on the lead here.
Yeah, we are down to just 32 cars here, it looks like, on the lead lap.
We're going to double up here this time by Scott Crump, David Tooker, Blaze Brinkley, Kwame Scott, David Shieldhouse, top 5, R.C. Anderson, Josh Adams, Tate Lytle, Latham Joyner, Tyler Fody, the top 10.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how Kwame does now. He's not going to be control car here.
And just a quick shout out to the midfield here. Mark Rubilis finds himself in the 16th position on the outside of our in-race reporter, Vincent Isabella. Mark doing a nice job there early on here at New Hampshire, so good for him, and we'll see how he does towards the end of this one.
Scott Crump doing a little bit of a Houdini there.
Yeah, Scott is definitely the magic man. Just time to see who's El Diablo here as we're about to get going. Pace cars off. Scott Crump has hit the loud pedal, and we're underway.
Yep, once again, we see the leader have a big advantage.
David Tooker, Blaze Brinkley battling here.
Everyone back through the field wastes no time again, trying to shoot 3 wide and make something happen.
Right. Oh, 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Chad Frankfield on the
apron.
apron.
Back there? They're
4 wide, 4 wide. 4 wide, about to go 3 once again.
Oh, Jacob Adams and Matthew Weeks.
Thomas Sherman in that
and
one.
Then Thomas Sherman, yeah.
Caution is out. See that start around Jacob Adams, Chris? Jacob Adams, Matthew Weeks.
Yeah, Jacob Adams, Matthew Weeks get together, and then Vincent gets into Thomas Sherman.
I believe I just heard Vincent go woo on the radio, if I heard the correct voice there. Take a look. Jacob Adams here on the bottom of Matthew Weeks. Looks like he just came up into the side of him there, probably pushing a bit. Isabella into the side of Sherman, send Sherman around. Sherman probably going to get the worst of this. Even then, that's not too bad. Let's take a look on board here with our in-race reporter car, Vincent Isabella. As he works his way through this incident. You see it start to develop right ahead of him here. Jacob Adams in the yellow car. Matthew Weeks in the Mrs. Goodies purple machine there on the outside. Looks like Jake slides up into the side of Weeks.
Yeah, I believe Jake said he also he hit a bump down there on the brakes, which there is a bump there. But nonetheless, the car on the inside assumes the responsibility not to hit the car on the inside.
Absolutely, and I mean, there's definitely a bump there, so can't really put too much fault on Jake there. He's trying his best on the inside. Looks like no harm, no foul there, as everyone will get to continue on at this point. Just taking a quick glance through the field. Caution number 9. Might as well do a quick run through the field. Scott Crump currently leading over Blaze Brinkley. Kwame Scott in 3rd. David Tooker there in 4th. R.C. Anderson 5th. David Shieldhouse, last week's winner, in 6th. Josh Adams in 7th. Tate Lytle back up to 8th after his early pit stop. Latham Joyner 9th. And Tyler Fody there in 10th. Just outside the top 10, Chris, we have Connor Jones making his first start. Jacob Adams just in that incident in 12th. Matthew Weeks 13th. Vincent Isabella 14th. Jeff Green 15th. Johnny Thomas 16th. 17th. Trevor Elam in 18th. Michael Hozak in 19th. Ethan Stanley 20th after having to come back down pit road. Then just outside the top 20, Conan Jones, Richard Hines, Chad Frankenfield, Gerald Campbell, Justin Vandermarel, Mark Rubilis, Trey Holmes, Thomas Sherman, David Carpenter, Jake Kaner, top 30, and rounding out the lead lap is Wyatt Knadel, Dustin Dewar, David Westergreen, and Harrison Talon.
I'm seeing that Harrison has lost a lap.
Harrison looks like he did just lose a lap.
So 33 cars on the lead lap. Everybody can go to the rest of the race without a pit stop if they choose to.
Yeah, realistically, these guys should have about 1 or 2 sets of tires in the pits at this point left to take if they need to. I don't think you'll see anyone come back down if we don't get another caution before around lap 110.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to have another green flag run of at least 15, probably 10, 15 laps at least to get anybody to come and get another set.
It'll be interesting to see if anyone does opt to come down if we do get another caution before lap 100. I doubt it if you're not in the back with a bit of damage, but you never know. As we're about to get going green here once again, Scott Crump, Blaze Brinkley, the top 2.
Yeah, Scott gets to the restart zone. He goes.
Scott doing another great job there on the restart.
Everybody funnels down into the corner.
Three wide back here once again.
Thomas Sherman just went through the middle of 3 or 4 wide, and he's trying to make all his spots back up in one corner, it looks like.
Thomas Sherman about to send it in the middle of Trey Holmes and Richard Hines here, all the way back in 27th, but further up, taking a look here, it's Scott Crump still leads here. Battles on Schildhouse, Adams, and Tate Lytle. And that is for position number 6. Schildhouse on the rear bumper and pushing on Josh Adams.
Yeah, just trying to go somewhere. Everybody's trying to move and go and make something happen, and it's just fairly difficult.
Absolutely. Vincent Isabella now side by side there with Jacob Adams for the 12th spot. These two battling hard.
Yeah,
Vincent will grab the spot.
Jake's trying to come back on his inside here.
I think I just heard someone saying sorry. Yeah. Seeing too much there with Chad. Oh, that was close. Chad nearly comes across the front bumper of Conan Jones. That would not have ended too well.
Oh, contact down here with Tyler Fody, and not sure who that is, but whoever it was just came down into the side of Vincent a little bit.
Yeah, I believe that's Connor Jones, our newcomer here. Vincent Isabella now on his inside. Vincent gonna push up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Vincent appreciated him turning down into him there.
Ooh, this is getting close. They're 3 wide. Jeff Green about to send a 3 wide. Connor Jones sliding the exit of that one. Just about chopped Jacob Adams there as well.
Yeah.
Things may heat up there in the 11th through 13th battle. Battle looks to be on here. Blaze Brinkley and Houdini battling for the lead.
Yeah, I believe they're talking about Scott Crump's blinking right now as we speak.
Yeah, I can tell you on our leaderboard here for the broadcast, Scott Crump's name has disappeared a few times over the last couple laps, a bit more than usual. Looks like he's disappearing once again, so race control definitely gonna have to take a look at that. Bobby may have just got a piece of the wall there just a moment ago, but looks to be okay. Just taking a look here, Blaze Brinkley. This is hard for Blaze, considering that Scott does keep disappearing like this because you don't know where he is and when.
Yeah, and then if Scott gets wrecked, he's gonna be mad. But I mean, you can't see him as much. You can't see him half the time. You know, he's basically
Ooh,
gone
it's
half
getting
the
real
time.
bad. It's getting real bad right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. That's unacceptable, really, to race with. You've got to get this cleaned up. Scott's a great guy. He's a fast driver. And if it wasn't for his connection issues, he would probably win a lot more races.
And realistically, Chris, as well, just on the topic of Scott's blinking, this is changing how Blaze Brinkley is approaching this race as well. Because Blaze has to be careful that he doesn't get into the side of Scott when Scott reappears.
Yeah,
so that's
if I
tough
was
for these
Blaze,
guys.
though, you just got to drive your race. And when he's blinking like this, if he's gone and comes back and you're wrecking him, you know what? That's nothing he can do. You know, that's on Scott. If you don't want to get wrecked like that, then you've got to get your connection in order.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little bit further back here, we see RC Anderson, David Tucker, Josh Adams, David Schildhouse. These guys all under a blanket. Tate Lytle, Latham Joyner right there as well. Tyler Fody. Nice little second group, aside from that lead three there. But they're all coming back together to be one big happy family here.
And like you said, it's probably changing how Blaze races. That's what's kind of bringing these guys back together. Scott's blinking affects Scott too, because Scott knows he's blinking. He can tell that he's blinking. Blaze is not able to run his pace because of the blink, and so that kind of brings everybody back together. Now, one car that I want to watch here over the rest of this race, who seem to be really good on the long. Oh, we're wrecking back here. Justin Vandermeer's head on into the wall.
Oh no. Justin Vandermeer,
oh man, he just got sent by that 73.
Yeah, and this is not the first incident we've seen with that 73 tonight, so
that definitely looks intentional there.
Taking a look here, Conan Jones does a little bit of a crossover. Just gets right into the back of Justin Vandermeer. Go wide out here. Ooh, Justin hammers that wall. Absolutely devastating impact for Justin there. He's having a pretty decent run as well. I mean, Justin doesn't often get the chance to run as much as he'd like.
Here we go. I think we're going to see a mixed bag here. I think some are going to pit and some are going to stay out. Scott Crump is looking like he's going to pit. He's going to stay out. Is everybody else going to come?
RC and David Tucker will stay out. Tate Lytle as well. Schildhouse comes down. Joyner stays out. Connor Jones stayed out. Yeah, it's kind of a 50-50 split here. You're going to see Trevor Elam, Johnny Thomas, Chad Frankenfield stay out, jump into the top 10. Gerald Campbell as well will join that top 10.
I think I like sitting right here. After seeing how those other guys were able to go through on tires
Ryan Jones will stay out. Jesse Rasmus getting the wave around here. I think there's definitely enough time to work your way through. And the thing is, Chris, if we go another 20 laps or so and we get a caution and we switch who pits and who stays out, those guys are going to have a lot of work to do in a short period of time.
Blaze Brinkley speeding on pit road, so the leader of the cars coming off pit road is losing his spot as we speak.
He's falling to the back here. Fortunate for him. See, Vincent Isabella slowly on pit road.
I don't see a black. I think he might have been saving. He might go up and repass the 22, maybe. I am not sure. Maybe did the 22 just beat him out?
Let's see if we can take a look. Blaze Brinkley leaving pit road. Let's see if.
Oh yeah, Kwame just beat him to that line. Kwame just has to go a little tiny spot. and he gets to that green cone just before Blaze.
As you see these two here, Kwame leaving, like you mentioned. Yeah, Kwame gets him by a fair bit.
It's just Blaze was running 45. Kwame's not even to 30 yet.
Yeah, but you know what? That's all Kwame needed. So good for Kwame there, able to grab that spot back. Still gonna have a lot of work to do, jumping up from 17th. Try to get his way back to the front here. We just took a quick gander through. A couple guys that lost a fair bit, it looks like, on that pit sequence. Vincent Isabella, our in-race reporter, all the way back in 31st. Looks like he picked up a bit of nose damage at some point as well. So that is not good for Vincent Isabella. David Westergreen coming back down pit road. Justin Vandermeer, he's going to stay out. He got a little bit fixed up, and he's going to come back out. So good for him. We'll see if that car lasts. They just beat the pace car off pit road.
No, I believe they did not. They have to let these guys go.
Yeah, and you are correct. Looks like the lights
They
are
need to do a
off on the
better
pace
job.
car.
Like, you can slow all the way down to 5 miles an hour. They're still running too much of a pace here. So if they don't get to the back, it's on them.
Yeah, these guys still trying to fall back through the field here. Looks like they may be able to do it, but pace car just about to pull off here.
Yeah, we come down to the green. We'll have to watch these guys that just got tires. I think it was a good call. We will see. Scott Crump gets away. Big jump for him.
Huge jump for Crump. RC sleeping on that restart.
These guys are trying, back here in the back, trying to go around guys who are on way older
This
tires.
is a gaggle right here, Chris. Ooh, contact just about with Dave Carpenter.
Yeah, the inside
Josh
lane
Adams
is
looking
really
three.
getting held up. Blaze Brinkley was on the outside of 4 wide. I don't think he knew it.
Ooh, Condon Jones. They're wrecking.
Oh, Blaze. Jake Adams is in it.
Huge wreck, huge wreck. Matthew Weeks, I think, just snuck through. I just saw Condon step out. And...
that started going down the backstretch.
Oh yeah, that one developed quite a bit ways back here. We'll take a look. We'll try to find this on the Whiskey Cast replay. We'll ride with Kynan Jones.
Blaze Brinkley. It started before that. Blaze Brinkley.
You see Blaze here on the outside of Jacob Adams.
Yeah, he runs into the back of the 88. Then he tries to turn down, not knowing it's 4 wide. Looks like the 79 got loose. And
I want to back that up one more time here. Yeah, 25 barely gets into the back of Condon Jones. Wow. Oh.
I think most of that falls on Blaze Brinkley. That's who
I believe so as well.
Because if you back that up to going into 3, he just runs flat over the 88, goes way up the track, and then turns down across the track. On the outside of 4 wide, he just turns down, gets into Jake. Jake checks up, does a great job not to wreck him.
We got to go on board with Matthew Weeks just in this incident here. You can see Blaze sliding it. Oh no, Vincent Isabella gets involved in that. Look at Matthew Weeks just sneak through. That was lucky. Yeah, Blaze Brinkley will back that up a little bit further, like you mentioned, Chris.
Yeah, he just runs flat. Like, back up further than this. Can you get back further than this? Yeah, see, right here, he just runs flat over this 88. Like, I get you're on fresh tires and you're trying to make something happen, but those guys aren't. You can't just drive down in there.
Oh, he's
like
still sending it, yeah. Wow.
And then right here, that puts him up the track, and he's got to realize that there are cars underneath him, and he just turns back to the left. Jake had incredible reflexes here not to wreck him when he starts coming down. Jake's able to get lifted, get away from him. And then
little bit of netcode contact with that 73 of Condon Jones. Oh.
Yeah, and then the 79 was backing up in the middle, and
Wow. Jake just gets it from all around there.
then Vincent gets involved. There's the 32. There's the 11. The 42's wrecking down towards the start-finish line.
Yeah, so Vincent Isabella was involved in that one, Chris.
We want to talk to him. We want to see
Yeah,
what he's
let's pull up our friend Vincent Isabella here. I'll bring him up to the broadcast booth to have a quick chat with us.
All right, Vincent, this is not the conversation I wanted to have with you tonight. Is there anything you could have done different there to miss that last wreck?
No, I mean the guys in front probably could have not been 4 wide on a 3-groove track, but it is what it is. I don't know. Try to salvage some points here. Got points to give. I think we're a full race up in the points to the good. So
What could you see from where you were sitting? And anything you could have seen? Anything you've seen there?
5 wide and people dying. That's what it was.
Yeah, we just watched the replay as well from your onboard, and that's pretty accurate. 98 shot across the track in front of you, absolutely nowhere to go. And have you come down pit road, Vince, since the incident? Do you know how much damage you have?
We gotta let Vince go. We're going back green here.
All right, good luck.
As the green comes back out here, Scott Crump gets away once again.
That seemed like a quick yellow, Chris, or we
Oh,
replayed
Donnie
a lot.
Thomas and Trevor Elam are going to make some contact.
Josh Adams looks like he got into Gerald as well. Still
I think-
getting it. Oh, this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight.
Josh is on new tires.
4 wide.
I think if you're Josh, you got to make this move. It's just 3 wide now.
Chad.
Oh, Chad gets down
Oh.
into Johnny. Oh, and there they go. Kwame Scott's around. Jared
Oh,
Camp.
Matthew Weeks. Oh, Matthew Weeks
it's
is up and
big
over.
back there.
Matthew Weeks has
Oh,
passed away.
the track is blocked here.
Oh
Matthew
my gosh.
Weeks is sitting upside down.
He's hanging upside down. I don't think he's sitting too well. Wow. That was... Looks like Justin Vandermeer grabbed a piece of that one as well. We'll try to find the start of that crash.
I'm just in the...
I believe it started back... Yeah, right about here.
Yeah,
Chad,
see, Chad-
sends it.
I think Chad thought Josh was going to send it, and Josh just backed out.
And then everyone just pours into it. Matthew Weeks. Oh, Matthew just gets forced into that inside wall. Up and over. As we've done already this season, we're going to go on board with Matthew Weeks for that flip. We're going to go Pyro Cam, Chris.
Yeah, that was just Chad thinking that he was going to send it, and when he didn't, Chad was like, "Oh, he didn't send it, but I already did."
Riding on board with Matthew Weeks and the Mrs. Goodies number 11 machine for Pro Edge here. You can see that wreck starting right ahead of him here. Grabs the brakes and gets hit into the inside wall. Up and over. And over. And on his lid.
Yeah.
Definitely unfortunate for Matthew Weeks. He wanted to hang around towards the front, but I don't think he wanted to be hanging that way.
Yeah, and Kwame Squat. Kwame Scott.
Kwame Squat.
Also involved in that, and he was... So now Josh Adams is the guy on new tires. So...
Let's take a look at Kwame's involvement.
Shieldhouse is right there with new tires as well, I believe, so... Yeah, Kwame just sees it happen. I believe that's his teammate, Johnny Thomas, right there.
Kwame just gets doored by the 92. One into his door. Richard Sherman, Dustin Dorr, nowhere to go here, really. Oh, whoa. Look at that 80 machine, Chris. Did you see him get through that wreck? Well,
I don't know if I would call that getting through the wreck.
get into that wreck? We're gonna find that 80 machine.
Yeah, see, they're wrecking at this point, and he's still coming.
Still
Why are you not checking
he's
up?
still on the gas pedal.
Why are you not checking? That is...
And you know, that most likely ended more nights than what would have happened had he checked up. Lights are off on the pace car. We're about to get going green here once again, but
we're still
no,
pacing.
lights are not off on the pace car. They're just happy to start doubling up at the front, but incidents like that kind of grind my gears a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. Like, and we've got that on replay. I would like to see some league admins take a look at that and say something to that guy. You know, you can't be just going full throttle through a wreck. Jake Adams got involved in that wreck, and he was checking up right there. Like, why are you not checking up? What are you? There is nothing for you to gain by running full throttle into a wreck. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's definitely one that's going to have to be reviewed by the administrative team. No doubt. I'm sure there's going to be a lot that they'll review here tonight, but that one, not too good.
And now, like I said, you got Scott Crump, David Tooker, RC, Tate Lytle, Connor Jones, Latham Joyner. Then you have Josh Adams, who is on new tires. Trevor Elam on old tires. David Shieldhouse, Ethan Stanley. Shieldhouse is also on new tires. As we get ready to come to the green, pace car is off. Green is out. Scott gets away. I think the battle is going to be Shieldhouse and Adams trying to come through this traffic.
Yeah, Shieldhouse already looking to make it 3 wide.
Adams, though, with the top side, has the big run.
Oh,
Adams
Elam, they're... Wow.
Man, oh man, that looked like some netcode.
It did look like some netcode there, Chris.
And that's Adams' shot to win the race, likely.
Most likely, can never count anyone out until it's over, but definitely not good at that point. David Tooker now to the inside of Scott Crump. Hey, Lytle sending it as well. Just behind. Oh my gosh, did you see that? RC
big moves.
Wow.
It's time for the big moves.
RC was sideways. That was crazy.
Scott's now hung on the bottom. RC's using every bit of racetrack there is out there right now.
24 laps to go here in the New Hampshire 125 here on the Elite Racing Network in the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series. These guys are battling hard.
All of a sudden, Pro Edge is sitting, what, 1 and 3? Oh, we got contact to block. Somebody tried to block Fody, and Fody said, "You're not blocking me right here."
Yeah, Tyler Fody. Evasive maneuvers there, trying to stay going forward. David Shieldhouse now side by side with Connor Jones. They're going to make a little bit of contact as well.
Yeah, I think Connor Jones is realizing that if you aren't going to give these guys any room and you're going to block them, you know,
you're going to get no room back. That's...
Yeah, they're not... Tyler's not going to lift for you when you throw that block.
We've both learned that lesson ourselves, Chris. That's for sure.
Shieldhouse trying to pull to the inside of Latham.
Ooh, just about some contact there.
Right now, Tooker is scooting away, but I don't think we've seen our last yellow.
No, I don't think so either. RC making a charge here. Tate Lytle looks like he may have grabbed a little piece of the wall there.
And
Tyler
Fody is all of a sudden...
inside.
Yeah, Fody's all of a sudden came to life and running pretty strong here.
Tyler Fody is on the... We have a wreck here once again. I believe that may have told Jesse Rasimus was in that one. I just want to quickly point out Tyler Fody has the freshest tires in that top 5. Last pit lap 85. Everyone else lap 65. Let's take a look at Jesse Rasimus here.
We got to talk about the Huck machine for this wreck.
Oh no. Where's Casey at?
and then the 42 just kind of gets into the 70.
Oh, Casey just. Oh no. Michael and Jesse in that one. Casey just kind of slides up. Just so you know, Scott Crump, R.C. Anderson, Tate Lytle, Latham Joyner, Connor Jones, Ethan Stanley, Trevor Elam, Casey Hatch, and a handful of other guys have come down pit road. But yeah, that
Too
one.
late. That's too late. Too late to be pitting.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned, Chris, earlier. That it'll kind of eliminate your chance depending on when you pit. But with that pit stop, Marker Bilas has joined the top 10. So cool for him. I mean, chances are he's going to get swallowed up by the new tires, unfortunately. But anytime you get to run in the top 10 in one of these elite races, even for a few laps, is cool. So, and another thing that I like to do all the time is spotlight our top rookies. So, in this one, I mean, he is a rookie. He's pretty darn good. David Shieldhouse currently in third. He's our top rookie so far. Thomas Sherman in the 11th position. Then it's Latham Joyner. He's going to be on fresh tires in 15th. Connor Jones 17th. Ethan Stanley 18th. And Kwame Scott there in 19th. Those are our rookies in the top 20. But David Tucker now with Tyler Fody on that front row. I think Fody's going to get a great run here on this restart, Chris. He looked so strong on that last little run that we had.
Yeah, and I just went back and watched Connor Jones throw that block and then come down the front stretch and kind of turn in towards Shieldhouse. I got to question what he is thinking here during that time, trying to block somebody on newer tires and then just turning down towards somebody here. Like, these guys aren't going to blink. These guys that you're racing out here in the Elite Racing Series, they're not going to blink and say, oh, you're scaring me. They're just going to say, if you're going to turn towards me, if you're going to throw a block on me, it's you who's going to pay that price. And I will not be bad. I will not feel bad for being the one that makes you pay that price.
No, absolutely. I mean, you're gonna have to pay the price at some point, especially if you are causing some misfortunes for other guys, and you'll see that happen throughout.
Well, I don't know that he was causing misfortune. He didn't cause misfortune to really anybody but himself. It's just
True.
These guys aren't going to blink and aren't going to check up for you throwing blocks and whatnot. Like, they're just going to run into you and say, hey, you know, because as a driver, and you know this as well as I do, when you choose to block, you accept responsibility for what that guy does there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just noticed Chad Frankenfield is up in the top 5 here. He's
And when did he pit?
Chad hit on lap number 96. Chad Frankenfield with the freshest tires in this top 5. David Tucker last pit lap 65. Everyone else in the top 5 lap 85 or later.
If I am David Tucker, I am not feeling great about my chances to win this race.
No, absolutely not. I think what David would need is a few more yellows, really, to not give these guys an opportunity to really have any sort of a run.
I don't think it's going to... All they're going to have to do is go through 1 and 2, maybe make 1 lap, and... I mean, these guys, way fresher tires. We'll see right here as the leader is... He's got control. He goes. I think he'll get swallowed up pretty quick. They drive right back to him.
We got 3 wide on the back.
They're 4 wide, 5 wide. They're a lot wide.
Or Chad Ton wide back there.
That's right, a Chad Ton wide.
Like Fody almost got into the side
Scott
shoulders
Crump
there.
trying to be forceful, getting through there. He's going to make some contact.
Oh, contact. They're wrecking.
Oh, is that the 92 I see in that?
Yeah, that would have been Ethan Stanley in that one. Let's take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay.
I'll tell you this, what we're going to see is they were 4 and 5 wide and just trying to be bulldozers, everybody who pitted and got tired.
Chris.
You got Latham on the apron. You've got the 92, the 1, the 2, the 99. They're all, they're about 5 wide right there.
Bilas, the 96 there. 1 comes down into Ethan Stanley after a bit of contact. Oh, Dave Carpenter gets in it. Maybe
Look
twice.
at that Huck machine sneak through.
Yeah, let's Go on board. Let's go on
Just
board
not a
with
lot you can do when you are 4 and 5 wide with somebody on the apron. I mean, look at Ethan.
the Huck Master here. Oh, you can just see them beating and banging right here. Tate gets so lucky. Wow. The skies just part for the Huck machine. It's almost like our Lord and Savior Dave Huckleberry was watching over that number 14 machine.
Yeah, just being way too aggressive back there in traffic. You know, all these guys are got to take. And, I mean, sometimes you might be okay to just lift a little.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're coming down to the late stages of this one, once again we have two Davids leading this thing. 1-2 Tucker and Schildhaus. Last week it was Schildhaus and Westergreen. So I think we might be on a run of Davids here, Chris.
We will see. I still like where Chad is at with how much fresher his tires are. I don't feel like I don't feel good about Tucker's situation, but so far it's working.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I think Schildhaus has a pretty good piece here late in the going in this one. He's coming on strong pretty late here with his fresh tires. But I think you cannot count out just about anybody up here in this top 10.
I would go further than that. I mean, we saw what happened at IRP.
True.
We know what this is capable of. Here we get down to some green-white checkers.
Yeah, green-white checkers is where it may get interesting. These guys are not going to give too much. It's going to be all take.
It's all been all take already. This is... I mean, we're down to just a few laps to go.
I'm just looking at this view here, Chris, and we have so many modifieds on track right now. So many guys missing their nose or missing their rear end. Here's your pick, Jacob Adams, all the way back in 24th.
Shh, no one remembers that. That ain't my pick. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's right. You picked somebody named David.
Yeah, I picked David.
Yeah. Justin Vandermeer there. Good Canadian buddy. As it looks like we do have a front row lined up here of the Davids. Getting ready to go green once again here. Could be going green with 11 laps to go.
Campbell here in 8th place. Take a look at that machine real quick if you can. Getting a lot of cooling. That motor will not run hot with the way it is.
Yeah, Gerald definitely having a bit of damage, but good job by him sticking it out. He's in 7th or 8th right now. 8th position there. Good for him. David Tucker now starting on the front row here on the outside of David Schildhaus.
Yeah, green flag's going to come out here with 11 to go. The green is out. A big jump for our leader. Contact back behind him. I mean, at this point, is it even a surprise if there's contact?
3 wide
They're
joiner
3
on the
wide.
bottom.
They're going to try to run 4 wide. There's no way we're getting through this corner.
We are...
oh, Tate Lytle. Tate is around.
Oh my God.
A bunch of cars are here in this wreck.
Chris,
The second time tonight we have seen somebody dance.
Second time we've seen a Pro Edge car.
Oh
my God.
That car's broken.
It's hard not to laugh at what just happened to Tate Lytle. How he just absolutely went for a ride. Let's go look at his car. He's
That's
crab
Latham.
walking.
Latham just drives down in there again, trying to make it. I mean,
Let's take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay. See what happened here. Latham Joyner is the one to watch here on the bottom. We will
Latham
definitely have to ride on board
trying
with
to
it in a
run the
moment.
bottom. He gets all the way up, gets into another car,
You know,
another car.
That 34 with Connor Jones, he comes down too. Once again,
And look
looks
at
like
that Tate Lytle machine.
we're gonna ride on board here with Tate. We're gonna go gyro cam once again. Actually, we'll go roll bar with Tate. Get more of an image here. See Tate sending it on the high side here. There's the incident getting underway, and he gets kicked. Oh,
Yeah, and look at this thing dancing.
back that up one more time.
All right, we are now joined in the booth as we take a look at his car barrel rolling and standing on its nose down in 3 and 4. Tate, you okay after that hit?
I mean, thankfully it's fake, but yeah, I don't know. I pity they're thinking that we'd be able to make up some time, but some of those other guys that had fresh tires were just making ridiculous moves, and these new guys, I don't know. I mean, Latham's been racing me pretty clean, but there's a couple other guys. It's just I feel like if it's your first race in the league, you should be trying to gain some respect and not giving everyone a reason to disrespect you. I went to the top there just to try to avoid the crap, but I got clipped. Oh yeah. I hope those fans in 3 and 4 are okay. Yeah, a little nose. I'm gonna give myself like a
And
2
you're not
on
the
the
first Pro Edge car to be making a maneuver like this. We had Garrison early in the race landing up inside the catch fence, so it's been a crazy night for New Hampshire.
Yeah, Garrison was in the fence. Matthew Weeks flipped over in the inside wall.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not been a good
if
night.
you're gonna make it 4 wide, hold the bottom. I think that's the only advice I could give there. I'm watching the replay. I don't mind 4 wide. I mean, I think people, for the most part, can hold it, but if you're going to do that, at least hold the bottom. You can't be in the third lane and be the bottom car in a 4 wide situation at New Hampshire. I know we had fresh tires, and we were going to be moving, but that's just, I don't know.
Yeah, they were.
I told
without
them
you out there, they were 3 wide and 2 lanes. That's never going to work. And
I
you
mean,
paid the
whether
price.
I'm out there or not, they're wrecking.
Yeah, but you paid the ultimate price. It's like you were the worst car.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's some guys like RC and Jeff Green who, have held real steering wheels in life, and they're super respectful and they're fun to race with, and they, get along with the guys. And there's some guys who, race 4 ARCA races and think they're top shit of the shit pile and decide that they can race the rest of us like, we're the scum of the earth. And I don't know. They won't last long if that's the way they're going to race. I've had some good battles with Latham already, but like, you got to know where you're at. You can't dive to the bottom 4 wide and then run up to the third lane and expect it to be okay, And I think they called that a racing deal. And if they called that a racing deal, then I think the race control needs to, go to the nearest eye doctor and get some freaking glasses. Because if that's a racing deal, then my God.
Yeah, Tate, if you can hang around, I'd love to have I have a couple more questions for you here. But
Yeah.
the green is out. Your teammate or old teammate David Tooker gets a great jump here and gets away.
We're still teammates. Yeah, he's got some scrubby tires here, but I think these cycles are going to help him, and I don't think they're done crashing. So he's probably only going to have to hold on to it for 2 laps, but that might be easier said than done. Coming to 5 to go. Rookie David Schildhouse, definitely streaming on Twitch. Go check him out.
Josh Adams gets tagged from Scott Crump, and like you said, Latham Joyner.
Yeah, it's funny how the same faces end up in every wreck,
Jeez, we'll pull that one up on the Whiskey Cast. Oh, Vincent Isabella going across the track.
Yeah, let's see here. I saw the 03 just from a mile back go 3 wide.
Oh man, it does. It looks like this.
No, 90 car got him.
Yeah, 90
and
car.
Then, RC pushes Latham into it. Latham actually didn't do anything there, so sorry, Latham. And then, yeah, he got a little front. RC made it through. Looks like Adams is the only one that really got too bad there, other than Vince going to lose some track position. Not that I was going to say he's going to get some damage too, but it looks like that car's already pretty beat up.
Yeah, that car was in the big wreck earlier. It was in another wreck, and now it's in this wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, shoot away with questions, man. I got all the time in the world.
So, do you expect to see more of the same on Wednesday night at North Wilkesboro?
I mean, I haven't been given a reason to not expect more of the same at North Wilkesboro. I think for the most part, we have a pretty decent group, but there's just a few guys that they're just driving over their heads all the time, and like it just doesn't make any sense why they're still allowed to race when they're. I mean, the first 12 laps we had 4 cautions, and I think they were all like 30th on back. I mean, if you're running 32nd and wrecking, then it's time to do something else because.
And I agree. We've been sitting up here talking about some things we have saw. We saw somebody no break the big wreck and go flying through it. We saw, like you said, we saw some 3, 4. There's some guys even taking it 5 wide, not able to hold it, and so we've been trying to call out the guys that need calling out. But you're a guy that's out there on the track with them, and I'm going to tell you this too for everybody watching. Tate is one of the veterans of Elite. Tate is a guy who it takes a lot to get Tate mad at you. It takes a lot for him to not respect you. Tate's a guy that's pretty easy to race with, a lot of fun to race with, and if Tate is saying you're doing something wrong out here about holding your line, it's probably true.
I mean, not that what I say is a tell-all, but I've been doing this long enough, been running around these guys long enough to know that the guys that have been here for 3 years aren't the problem.
And I'll tell you this too. I'll say it because I know Tate won't, because Tate has too much respect. But Tate has told me how I've messed up in the past as well.
Yeah, Chris is. You're probably one of like 4 or 5 drivers that have gotten it from me.
But I like to think that's behind us. Tate and I,
Oh, yeah.
we talk on the regular. We race a lot. We don't have,
I do have a short memory.
Yeah, as long as you don't repeatedly do it, it's.
Yeah, I mean, you race guys how you get raced, and there's 2 or 3 guys that I've been racing in this league for years that I race harder than others just because that's how they race me. And I mean, I think you probably know exactly who I'm talking about. And then there's guys like, let's see, Fody, and
And you mentioned Fody. Fody had to send one of those boys early in this race too. Somebody thought they were going to block Fody in their first race, and Fody said, "Yeah, you're not making that block."
Yeah, and like guys like Shieldhouse, I mean, he's brand new and he's one of the most respectful guys out there. So I mean, Fody, I've raced with him a lot. RC, these guys, this is one of the most competitive series in Elite, and kind of the same thing I said about Erska is when you get this many competitive guys, it's hard for some of these guys to run 8th. They're not used to running 8th. Somebody's got to run 8th. When you got 12 A top tier drivers in a series, one of those top tier guys is going to have to run 8th.
I will take one for the league and run 8th. That'd be a great finish for me.
Let's see how Cougar does here on this restart. This is for the win right here.
Yeah, the green-white checkers were into him. He gets
got
away.
a good jump.
Ooh, Scott just blinked out. That might cause a bit of a mess.
Scott blinking? What?
Yeah. Scott, a lot of respect for the guy, but something's got to give with that internet at some point.
Yeah, I agree, and we talked about that earlier as well. They're 4 or 5 wide. Oh, Thomas Sherman just blew up in the middle of the pack.
Just get it to the white. Get it to the white. They're not. Well, at least he's lagging through everybody. Get it to the white.
Would Shieldhouse use the bumper? Oh, we're spinning Jeff Green's around. That's going to be a caution.
Caution is out.
Oh, the bunch of guys. Jeff Green not
Hold the
holding
brake.
the
Oh
brake
my
here.
gosh.
Hold the
Just
brake.
rolling.
He got hit by everybody. I mean, and then you got David Westergreen piling in there from mile back, going 30 miles an hour faster than the field.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Green, like you said, is a real-life driver. You would think of all the people that would hold the brake, it would be him.
And he normally would. He's probably just fed up. I'm pretty fed up with this race too, as you can probably tell. Yeah, it's just you can't keep having races like this and not kick people out. You know what I mean? At some point, these
Jeff,
people gotta.
Scott, the 29, the 14, the 34. A bunch of guys in their 3rd and 4th wreck of the night as well here. I think, did the 34 check up too much there?
looks like the 03 netcodes into Jeff.
Jesus.
Crump netcodes. He gets the 10. Gets the 92. Here comes Westergreen going 30 miles. Oh, and then there's Jacob Adams going 30 miles an hour faster too. Seeing these guys like Razimus and Vandermeer, they checked up for the wreck, and that's why they're not in the wreck.
Yeah, I'm looking at Connor Jones right now. He doesn't do too much checking up. Of course, Jeff Green doesn't hold the brake either. And then you said Jacob Adams didn't check up.
I mean, I don't know if as much havoc as the 10 cars caused, and I don't think he could have done a whole lot there.
You could see 3 or 4 guys in that just stay on the throttle.
Yeah,
and
those
just drive
guys,
right into that.
It's time to start suspending people. It's time to start kicking people.
We're cautioned 17 in a 125 lap race.
Yeah, and like we had some good runs there.
We did.
There were 3 decent runs. They were pretty fun, and then that caution came out, and it kind of split the field strategy-wise, and I knew it was over because, I mean, you got guys that are running 35th anyway on the same tires up into 15th, and you got guys on fresh tires that are running top 5 right behind them, and
I mean, we've got Gerald Campbell up here in the top 5, and he hasn't had any hood since like lap 10.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, good for Gerald, but that's kind of sad.
Look at that thing.
It's kind of sad that we've let him get back in there.
Look at Blaze Brinkley in 8th.
Yeah, that car is missing some pieces.
It's worse than Gerald's. That's about everybody
Ethan
here.
Stanley's up here without a nose. David Carpenter. Dustin Dewar is missing everything off the front of his car.
Our in-race reporter, Vincent Isabella. Richard Hines, Jacob Adams.
These guys are just missing.
Wyatt at least has a couple body pieces. Marker Bylis, Josh Adams, Justin Vandermeer.
Any chance for you to get back out here, Tate?
I was just looking to see if anyone was going to pass me. It doesn't look like it. I would have to pass Josh Smith by 6 laps, and he's still on the track, so there's no point. I'm going to finish 32nd whether I go back out there or not. I was turning the wheel about 180 degrees left.
Yeah, that's right. We did catch that, yeah.
It was pretty, I mean, I when you flip into the catch fence and barrel roll, you kind of expect.
Yeah, it usually doesn't end well.
But I had full power. You wouldn't have thought I had 2,000 RPM right there.
How much damage did you get from that?
I had 8 minutes it required.
Wow.
So that catch fence just ripped it
was
apart.
like a suspension damage or something.
There's that among other things.
Yeah.
So here we are, and we are on a limit at this point. We're only going to have one more caution. If we have one more caution, that's going to be it. Because this going to be our second out of 3. So I guess technically we could have 2, right? It could end.
Yeah, we could have one more caution and then 2 more. Yeah, 2 more cautions to be over.
So out of this top 5, top 6, Latham Joyner has 40 laps fresher tires than David Tooker. I don't think that'll matter.
They've done so many. Yeah, they've done so many cycles. I don't think it matters at this point. Tooker just needs to get a good launch here.
Yeah, he comes down. He gets that. He gets a great launch.
Yeah, he gets a pretty good launch. Chad and David are going to be side by side into one, and Fody was cooking with peanut oil there for a second. Schildhouse clears, so I think it's a 2-horse race at this point.
Gerald Campbell makes contact with the 98 of Brinkley.
Let's just not wreck here, boys.
Oh, is Gerald going to get hit here from RC? It does not look like it.
Latham's down on the apron again. Got Blaze on the outside of RC. That's where the
David Tooker does get the white flag this time.
Yeah, white flag. We'll see where Schildhouse is here. We'll see what he thinks is appropriate.
Does he get into him? Oh, wreck it in the back. RC just moved Gerald. They're not going to wreck. It just really cost Gerald a lot of time.
Yeah, we'll see what we'll see where he's at. Oh, Tooker blinked out there for a second, but he's going to send it in there.
Sends it in.
Yeah.
The 9 spinning all the way across the grass on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to hold the brake. Kudos to him. David Tooker is going to come off the corner.
David Tooker will take it.
Yeah, good win for Tooker.
Schildhouse
Respect. Shout out to David Schildhouse for not sending him, because these other guys that are new to the league. Take notes. That's how you gain respect.
Absolutely.
Race guys how you want to be raced. So that top 3 right there.
Latham Joyner on his side.
And that's, he probably had that one coming. But shout out to that top 3. They deserved it. And he did that himself. So
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
Chad,
don't know.
Frankenfield, RC. But like I said, maybe they don't want respect. They just want to come in here and win, and if they have to wreck people to do it, so be it.
Hey, Chris, that'll be 2 weeks in a row with a 1-2 David finish. Last
I
week we had
imagine David
Shieldhouse and
Tooker.
Westergree, and this week Tooker and Shieldhouse.
Yeah, I was gonna say I imagine David Tooker is a lot more happy with this one.
Yeah, good win for Tucker. He when we pitted, he was kind of like, "Man, I should have pitted." I'm like, "I don't know, dude. If we start wrecking, your tires aren't gonna. They're gonna keep cooling off so much. It's not gonna matter."
Yeah, I think when he goes back and sees the replay of you tumbling down there in 3 and 4, he's gonna feel really good about his decision if he doesn't already, sitting here doing burnouts.
Yeah, that's a pretty good burnout too. Yeah. Well, it was. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys. It was not how I wanted my race to end, but I'll let you guys do the honors of interviewing these boys. Shout out to the top 3, 4, 5 there. Ran a pretty good race, and it's fun racing these guys up front. I just wish that a little bit more respect would be nice. The problem is when these guys come in with showing a lack of respect, it forces the guys that have been here, like the Tukers and Fodies and myself, to race harder. And
Look
And
at
it's
this
just-
burnout.
Oh,
that we
This
got
is
going on.
badass.
yeah, Tuker, he can wheel a car. Watch this. He's going to drift it all the way through 3 and 4. And he's. If you ever need someone to save a car, the Tuker's your guy.
Chris, he's showing a Chad ton of skill in this burnout.
Yes, he is. There's a Chad ton of skill. He's going to come right back here. Oh, not going to stop. Not perfect. Did not get to the line there. To
Just
stop
about.
9.3. But yeah, we'll catch y'all in the next one. Hopefully we can finish that one. I'm in
Yeah,
danger of
I
not even
hope so.
making the chase.
I'm
In this series
going to
right
be
now.
out there on Wednesday night. I'd like to, not pace around or get wrecked.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough either way. But yep. Shout out Days Gone By. Shout out to these boys you're fixing to interview, and I'm gonna let you guys take over here.
All right, Tate. Thanks for coming up and talking to us. Hate that you finished that way.
Yeah, it happens.
It's Tate Lytle. He had an unfortunate evening tonight, but looks like we got a couple guys ready to talk to us here, Chris. Why don't we go ahead and pull up Tyler Fody?
All right, we are joined by our third place finisher, Tyler Fody. Tyler, you had a good race. I don't know how much of the mess you saw. We saw you get blocked one time and say, yeah, that's not going to happen. But take us through your night and what you ultimately needed there to maybe have a shot to pass the two Davids.
Yeah, I don't remember, honestly, the first 2/3 of this thing. I do remember getting blocked to the apron, though. That was pretty cool. The tire call was perfect at the end to be coming back through the field. And had we not wrecked 17 times in the last 20 laps there, I think I for sure had the better car over Shieldhouse and especially Tooker. But with the caution after caution and only having 2 laps, we were kind of stuck there. Tooker was playing games with me too. Every time I'd have to restart third, he'd pick the top. So shout out Tooker for doing that. Yeah, I don't know. Just needed more laps. And on the last lap there, I was kind of laying back, hoping Shieldhouse would do something, and then it just never unfolded. But I mean, to be where I was on raw speed and to be third in the end is pretty good. So I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely, Tyler. And you mentioned getting run a little bit dirty there. Tate Lytle had mentioned a couple of guys just not showing too much respect out there. Were you finding much of the same as well throughout your race here tonight?
Yeah, I don't know what it is lately, particularly with the short tracks, but we got a lot of newer guys, and for whatever reason, they're just, in general, it feels like there's a little less respect out there, and I was definitely on the receiving end of that for a good portion of that first third to 2/3 of the race. And so I figured I'd get the tire advantage and just come back through there. And at that point, we weren't going to be taking it anymore. So taking all that I could and was trying to get back up through the field. So I think it worked out in the end.
Yeah, and before we let you jump out of here, are there any sponsors you want to thank, shout-outs you want to give? As, of course, we've got Wilkesboro coming up as well. Do you expect more of the same like we saw tonight when we get there on Wednesday?
Yeah. Might even be worse. So plan on just practicing a bunch of quali laps and hopefully putting it on pole and never thinking about pitting, honestly.
And sponsors and shout outs there.
Yeah. Well, Lake Norman guys, as always. Kendall Noah Player with the KNP graphics for painting up the sweet cars. Blue Egg Marketing as well. And big shout out to you guys for sitting here and having to deal with that. Hopefully we can clean it up here going forward.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We had Tate join us after his tumble, and of course, as you know, I'm sure Vincent was our in-race reporter tonight. So we had a lot going on. Of course, nobody wants to see 20 cautions like we saw tonight. So hopefully we can get that cleaned up. I don't think 20 cautions and 125 laps is something that should even come close to happening.
Yeah, it is what it is. What made it worse is watching Tooker win. So just make sure you tell him that.
Will do, Tyler. Congrats on your run, and good luck Wednesday. And come back and talk to us next week, too, from Homestead.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
All right, we are joined once again this week, as last week. Only this week he's not the winner, so I guess it could have went a little better for you. But David, take us through your night, and how did you miss all of the craziness that happened out here in New Hampshire to get a podium finish?
It was the same equation as last week, Chris. Same formula. Stay in front of it. That was the key. Track position is so important at this track. Passing's really hard. I mean, it was a struggle, probably to put it lightly. As the viewers saw, it was hard to pass, and so track position meant everything. We made our last pit stop there with about 40 laps to go. Put a fresh set on, and I basically said, "This is it. We're going to drive up to the front. Whatever happens, happens." But because I knew at the end it was going to devolve into more cautions. It always does, especially at a track like this. So, having the track position was the most important thing, and I was hoping that my fresher tires would be worth more there, but it was good enough for second tonight. The 19 did a good job, deserved the win for sure, and after winning last week, second place, yeah, still not too bad.
Could have been worse, right? Could have wrecked. I mean, like you said, it was hard to pass, but I feel like it was only hard to pass if you chose not to hit the guy beside you. We saw a lot of guys making, just making holes down there on the bottom, saying, "You know what? I'm going to pass 3 cars right here. If they wreck, they wreck."
Yeah, that's sort of a mentality that's all too common, unfortunately, in our space. And it's not just an elite series thing. That's just a sim racing thing, and it's been that way forever. I've been around this stuff for a long time, and that's always been the case. So, I got out of here with the 0x clean car for the second week in a row, and I passed plenty of people. It's a mentality. It's a desire to want to race clean and give some respect and show some courtesy to the people that you're around. And for the guys that don't want to subscribe to that theory and want to race in a way that says to hell with everybody else, their feelings, their well-being, and the overall product that we're putting on, those are the type of guys that usually find their way out of leagues. So they may have done that tonight, and they may have been getting away with it, but from what I heard over the radio from Chad, they probably have a really short runway, and they may not be welcome back here for much longer. So I'm fine with that. We all want to see clean racing. We'll probably see that next week when we go to Homestead. I'm excited about that. But New Hampshire's a tough track. It's a skill track for sure, and if you lack on skill, then I guess you make up for it in brute force, but I didn't see any of them finishing up front.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, it was a tough night all around. There was a lot of wrecks, a lot of damage. But did you think you could do anything to get by David Tooker without absolutely running him over at the end, or was second really all you had in it?
I really was hopeful, Robert, that my tires would get me something. I mean, they were good enough to hold off Tyler. We were about equal. We had the same tires. We held off Chad every restart, but Tooker was he was very strong. And getting to him was one thing, passing him is another, and there wasn't a big enough discrepancy in his grip versus my grip. The only way I was going to get him uncomfortable was to put pressure on him, and I thought I was going to be able to do that, but anything short of a bumper wasn't going to be enough, and I'm not going to wreck a guy for a win. He earned it. He deserved it. He was quick, and I wasn't going to wreck him for it. If I could have gotten to him to maybe move him a little bit, but it's hard to tell in this game. Sometimes you try and do that and it doesn't work out, and it's just not worth it most of the time. So I was happy to get P2. Tyler Fody was really good tonight. There were a lot of really good drivers up there that I probably wasn't better than on pace, but the strategy got me into that position, and the way this track races and track position took care of the rest. So, I don't know if I was going to beat Tooker. He was very strong.
Absolutely. And
and
go ahead,
like
Chris.
you said there, it was hard to pass in track position and whatnot. But and hitting the guy, that's something a lot of people, who watch might not realize. There's net code involved. There's a lot of things that go into, you might lightly tap a guy, but because of the way the sim is, it might register like a big hit. We saw it tonight a few times where side by side contact just lifted that other car off the ground, and so it's really hard to do a bump and run and not just like wreck a guy. But are there any shout outs you want to give or sponsors you want to thank before we let you out of here as well?
Yeah, big shout out, of course, to Alpha Prime Racing, Market Rebellion, Capital City Hauling, and Ryan Pastana for the beautiful paint scheme, of course. And a big shout out to everybody at twitch.tv/Shieldhouse for sitting through the show. They were patient, and I think they enjoyed everything at the end. A big thank you to Next Level Racing and Thrustmaster, Advanced GG, and you guys for putting on the show and suffering through what I'm sure wasn't the most fun race to broadcast, but hopefully we can clean this up and we can go on to Homestead next week and put on a better show.
All right, David, and you mentioned Alpha Prime Racing there. Been getting to know a little bit more about them the last couple of weeks, so hopefully they get some speed there in their cars as well, and maybe start running up here where you're at. Maybe you should jump in the seat for a race or two.
I'll propose that to Tommy. To go back to what we talked about last week, I did ask Tommy if he still had his sim racing stuff. He does not have his sim racing stuff anymore, but he also did say that unless I come up with the necessary funding, that I won't be driving any of our race cars at a competitive speed. So I guess that's fair, but the team's performing really well. We had a great Texas, and hopefully we can go out to Talladega this weekend with Howie and Caesar and have a really good run as well. So looking forward to that, and hopefully we'll be talking to you guys again in the booth with a dub at Homestead next Monday night.
Absolutely.
Right,
Thank you so much, David.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Robert.
From one David to another, let's pull up David Tooker.
And we have David Tooker, whose strategy was to stay out and not get crashed, and that ultimately was the big factor in it. David, take us through your race there, and ultimately, the calamity that was New Hampshire. Your car looked pretty clean.
Well, you're not wrong, Chris. It was definitely calamity. I think we had a pretty solid race throughout the entire race, even with all those cautions, which was really unfortunate because I'm happy to win this race, but we don't want to have races like this. We want to have green flag runs like we'd had around like lap 30, 40, all the way to lap 70 or so. We want to have those green flag runs. We want to put on good races for the people that are watching and pull in more sponsors so we can earn more money for our drivers and stuff like that. But I think we had a really good race starting outside of pole, coming to one of my favorite tracks. I love this place. It's definitely a driver's track. It's different from any other track you can go to, but I think we had a solid race. We were really good on the long run, which I felt like that was our strength coming in. At least on the restarts, we could not get rolling. Just couldn't find the speed on the fresh tires. It was just really tough getting up to speed coming off the corner with low RPMs, trying to keep the momentum up. But I felt like we had a really good long run car, and going side by side with Scott for the lead, and then the caution came out. That was really frustrating, but just the way it goes sometimes. But like you said, just made the right strategy call, and to be honest, I wasn't even sure if it was going to work with the RC and tape pitting and just having fresh tires literally right behind me. I knew the smartest choice on those restarts was just to keep Fody boxed. And not to say that Shieldhouse couldn't go up there and beat me, but it's just, you got Fody, who's a multiple time champion of Elite. You want to do your best to hold him back as much as possible. And I felt like the best thing to do was just take the outside in the restarts, and we were able to hold on and get the win.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you realize this or not, Tucker, but the majority of your teammates ended up upside down, and that's not typical for a place like New Hampshire. We saw Matthew Weeks upside down. We saw Garrison upside down, and ultimately we saw Tate dancing on his nose down there in 3 and 4 as well. So I think staying out was definitely the right call.
Yeah, I figured with how the race was going, cautions every 2 or 3 laps. We got one green flag run in. It was only about 40 laps. It wasn't even that long, but I just how this race was going, I knew that the end of the race was going to be pretty similar to the start of it, and with it coming down to the wire, everyone's going to be pushing harder and harder and giving less room, a lot more take than give. And I wasn't sure. I mean, I knew once we hit about 25 to go, I made my bed and I was laying in it, and that was to stay out. So luckily it paid off. Unfortunately for my teammates, it didn't quite pay off. Like you said, a couple of them, most of them upside down. I think the only one that wasn't upside down was me, Josh, and RC. But I don't know exactly what happened to those guys back there, but I knew Weeks and Garrison and a couple other guys were starting to work their way through the field. But like you said, just caution after caution. There's landmines. You're bound to get caught in a wreck, and unfortunately they all got caught up in one, but I didn't. So I'm glad to bring it home for the team.
Yeah, absolutely, David. And we heard frustrations from just about everybody that we talked to today, from Vincent Isabella during the race to Tate Lytle in the closing laps of this to Tyler Fody and David Schildhouse, about a lack of respect throughout the field tonight. Did you find that as well, or were you kind of able to stay clear of all that throughout this thing?
For the most part, at least this race, I was able to stay clear of it all. Me and Scott had a couple laps where we were side by side racing for the lead, and we raced just fine. Same with Tate and RC. The guys you expect to race clean, they're gonna race you clean. They expect the same back. So, it's just all about who you are as a driver. If you're a guy that wants to go in there and try to pass as many cars as you can, you're going to be aggressive. You're going to make some guys unhappy. But if you're the one that's patient and knows how many laps are left, you're probably going to stay away from all the mess. Unfortunately, this season, this is just how our races have gone. We've talked about it as admins, as a group. We've talked about it, that it's just a lot of guys are being over aggressive, and there's a lot of just take and no give, and sometimes you need to have a little bit of that to get these good races. And I feel like we've lost that right now. I don't really feel like the respect there among the community of Elite Racing League is there right now, and I'm not really sure why, because our field hasn't really changed. We've maybe added maybe 3 or 4 guys that shouldn't be the biggest change as to why our green flag percentage has dropped off so much. But from a driver standpoint, I can definitely say that the lack of respect is there, and as a group, not even just one person, but as a group, we all need to work together and realize that our races, we don't want to have a race like this. Essentially, we don't want to have multiple cautions. We want to have green flag runs, like I said earlier. So it's really frustrating as a driver, and I can only imagine how frustrating it is for the higher ups.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and one thing you brought up here too about the lack of respect, Robert and I saw it from the drop tonight. They were 3 and 4 wide on the first and second lap before they ever wrecked. It's, maybe let's not take it 3 and 4 wide real early. Like, let's not. If you qualify bad, yeah, that sucks. We've all been there. We've all had a bad qualifying run, but you can't just you're not going to pass everybody in 2 or 3 laps. You're going to get yourself wrecked and wreck a lot of other guys. So I do see where you're coming from there, Tucker, and I agree with you 100%. You got to have a little bit more up on top of your head there for some of these moves some of these guys are trying to make early in the race, just because they had a poor qualifying effort.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah. Just quickly before we get to your shout outs, how many times have you practiced that burnout? That was sick.
It's, I don't want to say I've necessarily practiced it. I'm glad you guys caught it though. That's awesome. I'll definitely look back and watch that. But there's no like secret to it. I've just done a lot of drifting, so I've come pretty comfortable with holding a car sideways and just managing throttle control and wheel input. So it's just hours upon hours upon hours of just dedicating time to learning a new way of driving. That's all it really was.
All right, and Tucker, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give, sponsors you want to thank, and if you're there Wednesday night, I kind of would like to see that again. If I could hit you in the left rear and just so I could see it there from the seat, is that all right?
Yeah, that'd be. I can make that happen for you. But like you said, everybody that I want to give shout outs to, all of Pro Edge Racing. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get the results we were looking for. RC has managed to bring it home 5th for us. We got the win in the top 5. Got 2 cars in the top 5. I mean, that's pretty solid. But I feel like we had a lot more cars that could have gone up there and raced for the lead. Josh Adams being one of them. Matthew Weeks, he had a bad qualifying effort. Garrison even. A lot of us just really struggled getting through the field with all these cautions. But like I said, everybody at Pro Edge Racing, everybody at Elite, all of our admin, everybody that works as hard as they do to make this run the way it does. And I understand that it's been very frustrating these past few weeks with these cautions, but we're trying our best to work through it and give you guys some good races to watch up here in the booth. But also want to thank you guys for what you do up here. I know both of you would probably much rather be in the race car, but we appreciate your efforts behind the scenes for us, and it's awesome. I love watching back the races, and also want to give a huge shout out to JD Designs. He painted the car for me a couple days ago, and we're able to put it in victory lane. I'll definitely run this car a lot more if that's the case. If I'm winning this car, I'm running it every week. That's just how it's gonna be. But like I said, JD Designs, everybody at Elite, all you guys up in the booth, really appreciate it. And obviously, just all of our drivers. I know tonight was kind of a rough race, but we're working on it, and we'll try to bring some better racing for you guys next week.
Well, all right, David. Good luck next week, and good luck on Wednesday. And I don't know, you don't do IndyCar, so Friday doesn't matter. But come back and talk to us in Homestead next week, where we run caution free. I'm already saying that. I'm putting it out there.
Yes, sir. I love that.
Well, Robert, that race, it was something.
Something is definitely an understatement, Chris. Obviously, we saw a lot of damage, saw a lot of upset people tonight, and we heard some real veterans of the series and veterans of sim racing kind of give us their 2 cents on what's going on. I know there's been a lot of people being vocal behind the scenes tonight as well, and hopefully they can clean this up going forward. Obviously, not the product we want to see weekly out there, but kudos to David and Tyler and the rest of the guys that really put on a show here tonight for us. Gerald Campbell gained 33 spots tonight to finish 8th with a car that really had no business even being in the top 20, and good for him, man. I mean, some of these guys were able to capitalize on other guys having issues and get good finishes, so good for them. But Chris, it was rough.
Yeah, and I think tonight we kind of seen people reach a boiling point. Like this was what, the 4th or 5th race in a row. We went from IRP, where there were a lot of cautions. Pocono had a lot of cautions. Atlanta had a lot of cautions. We get to New Hampshire, still didn't really clean up any. So I think we're seeing guys kind of get to the point now where they're like, hey, everybody's talking about. It's kind of like what we're seeing in real life with the safety and some of the parts failures. Like, the reason everybody's being vocal now is because they've been making some noise behind the scenes, but I guess, there's really been no action on it. And now people are starting to say it for more people to hear, and hoping that maybe that'll stir up a change.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can really do is everyone speak their mind and let their opinions really be known. Like you said, we're seeing it right now. We're seeing Harvick and Hamlin and Chase Elliott today as well, putting their 2 cents out there, and hopefully the right people are listening, and we see change in the real world and in the sim world as well. But obviously tonight it was about the Davids, and David and Tyler were able to get the podium. I wonder
If you would have told me we had 20 cautions and David Tooker and Tyler Fody would still get a top 3, I would have said I believe that 100%, because when these races go to hell in a handbag, there's a group of guys that just find a way to make sure they stay above it and stay out of it. And even on older tires, like Tooker said, he stayed out on those older tires, but he just felt like we were going to have more cautions. And boy, was he right, because after everybody pitted, I don't think we went more than 1 or 2 laps, even, until the green white checkers. It was just a caution after caution after caution.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Caution after caution after caution, and frustration all around. So it'll be interesting to see what we get next week. I believe we're at Homestead next week, so we'll see how that goes. But I do wonder if maybe next week we'll see Tyler Fody come back with a name change, and we'll have another David in the field.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's won a lot with Tyler. He'll keep it. He'll take that 3rd place. And
yeah, it's just the last 2 weeks. The top 2 have both been Davids, so you might see some guys with some name changes hoping for a good finish.
Yeah, but if you are just tuning in, you just missed the Elite Series 2022B Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series, sponsored by Mrs. Goodies here on the Elite Racing Network. You're looking at our winner, David Tooker, who did a full track burnout. It was pretty nice, pretty spectacular. And I want to give a shout out to everybody at Mrs. Goody's Goodies, TA Services, Blue Egg Marketing, and Brixi Cam. And of course, Chad for putting on a league. Sometimes there's rough patches. We're in one right now, but we will see the other side. I promise. Just bear with us. Chad does a great job. Everybody at the Elite Racing Network, Dave on down, does a great job. Robert Hill and I were here tonight. Make sure you tune back in and see a Wednesday night from North Wilkesboro, where hopefully it's a little cleaner. I'm going to promise it. But it's going to be a cleaner race on Wednesday night than it was tonight. All right? So don't make me a liar, everybody who's listening and who's going to be racing Wednesday night. But until then, thanks for joining us tonight, and we will be back with you.